If that isn't a reason to bag this disc, I don't know what is.
Welcome to Bag or Banish, the series where I try a unique disc and I tell you whether you should bag it or banish it into a black hole forever. On today's episode, the Nice! No longer just a way to curse your buddy's drive, the Nice is an 8.7 -22, and it's made by Momentum Disc Golf. It's a company founded by 5 partners that took over the former brand of Momentum Disc Golf. So it's still a Swedish company, but it's no longer the original creator, and this disc isn't being made anymore. This is out of production. The only reason I was able to pick this up is because it was on the clearance rack in my local shop. The issue I have with it right off the bat is it doesn't fly like a -22, and that's partially because of its 7 glide. It ends up being a lot flippier than the -22 would suggest. It's also an 8-speed, so if you really crank on this thing, it'll turn right. Now for full transparency, I already bagged this disc. Now to figure out whether you should bag or banish this, we're going to score this out of 4 categories: feel, versatility, do the thing, and score. Alright, so let's go over to the field and we'll see just how this flies on some stock throws, both backhand and forehand. Turns into a roller. Much better. That's how that disc wants to be thrown. Yep, turned into a roller. Oop. And it's going down the left side. Okay, so that was all the field work. And I gotta say, it flies okay. It wants to be thrown on hyzer. It has a really great flip up. You'll see a really good example of that in the next segment where I play 9 holes at Hollows North Manchester. But let's go over to the course. We'll play 9 holes, and then we'll come back and I'll give my final thoughts. Welcome to hole 1 at Hollows North. We're testing the Nice today. We're gonna play 9 holes, and I'm already so sweaty. It is, what, not even 7 in the morning yet, and it is basically 100 degrees out. It's probably more like 80. Typically I had forehand, but with this disc, it's a 7-speed -22, which means it really flies like a -31. So I'm gonna give this just a little bit of anhyzer on backhand. Try to sneak down the left side. Worked okay. Pretty good 3. That drive was really nice. It did basically exactly what I thought it would do. This basket is really hard to film because it's behind all of the trees. Literally just like all of these. It's like right there behind everything. Now, in the Aerobi Sharpshooter video, I skipped this hole because it's really short. It's not meant for a driver. I use a putter. But I think if I just like power down a lot on this, it'll be okay. So we're just gonna see how it goes. You know what? A little too straight, because it has that flip up. A little too straight, and it hit a tree. If it didn't hit the tree, it would have been just on the edge. It wouldn't have faded back at all. For a reference, let's throw the yarn. Yarn.
I don't know how to pronounce this disc. Maybe a yay? Yarn? Yarn? I don't know. I don't know how to pronounce it. Please correct me. A little bit too right. This is a pure, this is a negative 1-1. Yeah, I only got there because of a good kick. What are you gonna do? I had nothing. I had 0 line. If you're playing from over here, it's really bad. I just wanted to see what would happen for its versatility. And honestly, like, it's not going to be that versatile. It's just not. And I know that. It's a unique utility disc. It's a UUD. Hole 4, normally I would like backhand through this like gap over here with something overstable, but because I'm using something that I know turns a lot, I'm gonna throw it down the middle, see if I can get it to turn right, and just kind of hope for the best. I was looking okay. That maybe would have done it had it not hit that tree, so I'm not gonna take too many points off for that. Oh, that was silly. It got around the trees that I'm never able to get around, and I think I have a look for par. I mean, so far, so good. Yeah. Hole 5. Typically, here I would throw my Insanity, which is a 9.5, -2, 1.5, which you would think is like, oh, that's like similar. No, this is gonna be flippier. But that might not actually be a bad thing, because if you don't juice it hard enough, then it stalls right around here and then fades left. You want something that like continues right. You can barely see the flag. You can barely even make it out where it is, but it's way right. Now, it's like straight this way, so you just want something that's gonna baby turn and then fade out, and this might do it with the height that I'm gonna give it. A little low, but that's fine. I'll try to demonstrate what I was talking about with the Insanity. Yeah, see how it stalled out because I didn't give it enough rotation, and then it just faded left? Oh my god, ugh, gross. I'm so sorry. What really wasn't great is I juiced the nice. So I got myself a very long look for par between these two trees. So that's gonna be interesting. Whew. Okay, hole 6. The overstable backhand line's not gonna work, but a forehand line might. So a little bit of hyzer on this, I think. Ooh, nope. Did not put that straight. Okay, so the line works. Did I throw it well the first time? No. Might be on the edge of OB. Save the par. Hole 7. I mean, this is going to be okay. This hole I normally throw a backhand mid-range. It's a little understable, so I can fight through the trees this way and have it fade back at the end. So I think this needs to be on a little bit of hyzer based on how I've been throwing it. Too high. Huh. Worked out really well. That also worked out extremely well. Oh yeah, this is great. Look at that. Oh no. Normally I would score this hole as a 4. And I still want to, because that's what UDisc says. UDisc says, hey, basket's in long position, this is a 4. My friend Alex, who's played more tournaments than I have, has played in tournaments here, and they scored the long position as a 3, so I don't know what the sign is all about where it says 3-4. That's legit the best drive I've ever had. That was such an easy par. The nice isn't going to be as easy. Left. So if we go by UDisc, that was a par. But if we go by first-hand account on someone who's played in tournaments here, technically a bogey. Hole 10, backhand again, but it needs to be on a lot of hyzer, and it will do what I want it to do. And if I put it higher, it would have been perfect. Player 2 is doing really well today. Birdie and par. It's another par. It's another fine placement. Hole 12. This hole is always a little tricky. You want to get something that goes down this left side, but then turns right. So you'd think maybe a forehand, but it's over 300 feet in the short position. Right now it's 375, and like a forehand for me is just not going to do it. So I need to throw a backhand, which means I need something that's understable enough to turn right on like a late flip up. Now, is this going to have a late flip up? Probably not. But I think I can make something work. And even if I go straight through the middle gap, which is a lot tighter, that is like the local route, it could work. There's a chance of it working. So either way might be okay. But this hole is always difficult no matter what. Always difficult no matter what. That gap also works. Sometimes. The gap's kind of weird to hit because it's not very inviting, but sometimes it works. Good tree kick. Bogey for the nice. Hole 16, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little scared because this hole needs an overstable disc and it needs something way on the right side, at least for me. All this left side goes down into a swamp, which actually might be totally dry because it has been so hot with zero rain for so long that most ponds have just completely dried up. What I'm gonna try to do is go down this middle gap here with a tiny little bit of hyzer maybe. If I go this way and don't put enough hyzer, it'll burn way over to the right, and that's all thorns. So I think this middle gap, and if it goes left, it's fine. Oh, wow. If that isn't a reason to bag this disc, I don't know what is. All right, well, it's not a putter, so that's on me.
Wow, what a round. Okay, final thoughts. Feel. I really like the way this feels. This is in the more premium plastic. I know there's a base plastic version of this, and I decided against picking up that version of it, mostly because it's a base plastic. And I don't throw a lot of base plastic things unless it's my A2 or maybe a putter. So the premium disc, I like the feel a lot. It's a little gummy, but it adds to the characteristics of what you really need this disc to do, which is be a turnover disc. Now, could you throw this on a roller? Sure. Do I throw rollers? No. I play in New Hampshire, and there isn't a course near me that a roller even makes sense on. But for feel, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. Versatility. Is this disc versatile? Less so. Backhand, flip up, hyzer? Perfect. Turnover shot from like a little bit of anhyzer to flat, pretty okay. Forehand, for me, I'd have to put it on a lot of hyzer, and it's not as reliable as a backhand. Anhyzer backhand, forget about it, turns into a roller. It's too flippy for that. So versatility, not as good. Be like a 2.5 out of 5. Do the thing. Does it do the thing? No. It doesn't, because it says it's a 8.7 negative 2.2. I honestly wouldn't even give this a 7 for glide. I would call this like an 8.6 negative 3.2. I think that's more accurate. So does it do the thing that it says it does? For me, not really. It's definitely flippier than a negative 2.2. But is it pretty close? Yeah. 3 out of 5. Not bad. Score. Did it score well? Yeah, it scored pretty well. Couple of bogeys, nothing too crazy. Didn't have like crazy double, triple bogeys like I did with the sharpshooter. This disc is in my bag for a reason. There are maybe like 2 or 3 holes out of the 3 or 4 courses that I play that this disc comes in clutch. Really good for certain shots. Can I make it work for most of the holes that I play at most of the courses that I play on? Not really, but the score today was solid. Now, I did I did leave myself a lot of upshots off a lot of holes. so the drives weren't quite there when compared to what I would normally throw. But I still managed to pull off a decent score. 4 out of 5. All right, so the final score. Out of 20, got a 13.5. Is that great? No. Is that respectable? Yeah, I'd call that respectable. Now, should you bag it or banish it into a black hole forever? I'm going to say bag it. Now, bag it comes with a little bit of a caveat. If you're a seasoned player, this is going to be a utility disc, straight up. This is going to be, I need something that's going to turn right for most of its flight and maybe fade back a little bit at the end. This is going to be pretty flippy. If you're throwing it high and on hyzer, then a little less so. Now, if you're a beginner, this is a great beginner disc because it is flippy. So if you don't quite have the arm speed, but you still want to throw something that's an 8 speed, this can work for you. So I recommend checking it out if you can find it, because it is out of production. So that wraps up this episode. If you have a unique disc that you want me to put through its paces on Bag or Banish, let me know in the comments below. I'll see if I can find it. If you have it and want to send it to me, DM me somewhere, like on Instagram. Go to my Instagram and DM me, and then we'll work something out. I'll see you in the next one.